but I'm kind of a hybrid because most people in the tech industry, we're sitting in front of a computer all day, right? And like don't have very many personal skills, don't have the sales skills. They're highly skilled at what they do in front of the computer, but when it comes to anything else outside of that, like you can't even have a drink at a bar and talk to somebody like a normal person because you're socially inept.
Welcome to the Share the Wealth Show, where minority professionals can learn to escape the racial wealth gap and catapult themselves into abundance. Your host, Nicole Pendergrass, grew her net worth from being negative to multiple six figures. Join her on her investigative mission to expose secret strategies of the wealthy so we can all have the tools needed to build the life and legacy we were created to possess. Now it's time for the show.
Hey guys, so we're back again. This is the second part of the episode with today's guest. I need you, if you have not heard part one, go back to the previous episode and listen to that first, and then come back and join us here today. But you're not going to want to miss what they already said, because then you'll be lost with what they're about to say. But in any case, you don't want to miss you need to hear the whole conversation. This is why we split into two parts. There's so many nuggets. It's so juicy. Go back and listen to the first part. Listen, I know you've been digging in, studying everything you can, listening to all the podcasts, reading all the books, even going to meetups. You basically have a degree from YouTube University, right? But you still feel stuck. You don't know how to actually implement what you've learned. You're nervous about taking the next step. And with the economy like it is, especially with a downturn looming, you're even thinking maybe you should just wait it out. I know you've heard that real estate makes more millionaires than any other asset class, but you know what else? More millionaires are made in a downturn than any other market cycle. So now is the perfect time to jump in and really get started. I'm super bullish on growing my portfolio this year, and I don't want you to miss out. So I've decided to start the Microfamily Investing Accelerator. This is a mentorship program where I personally guide you through my 5 proprietary pillars so you can learn how to buy your first commercial multifamily property and scale while not biting off more than you can chew by focusing on 5 to 20 units. That's what I call microfamily. And so you can also get hands-on guidance from an experienced microfamily investor, me, who's been right where you are, nervous about how to start. And so you can also create the cash flow needed to give you freedom and options to build the abundant life that you were destined to live. So I'll be limiting the first cohort to 5 students because they'll have direct access to me and I will be heavily invested in their success. The first group is going to start in January. So if you're ready to grab 2023 by the horns, schedule a free discovery call with me today. The link is in the show notes. Let's hit the ground running in 2023. I look forward to seeing you on the inside. And now let's get back to the show. So how many other things are there? Just name them off.
Currently, or just stuff I've done in the past total?
You're blowing my mind right now. So yeah, currently, tell me currently, what are you doing currently? And then add in what you've done or tried in the past.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I'd like to make a caveat that most of the things that I've done have not been successful. There's maybe like 3 that are relatively good. And like the rest or just learning experiences, right? So,
yeah,
did I make money in real estate? Yes, I'm continuing to make monthly money in real estate. It's not, I didn't become a millionaire off of that at all, but it's just providing another stream of revenue. Do I want to make $1 million in real estate? Absolutely. And I know the blueprint that it takes to get that. It's just a matter of putting that focus on that business to grow it to where I want it to be. But so I'm going to take a pause on the story from my 20s because actually I don't have to. I can breeze through it. So the rest of the 20s were like doing DJ gigs, magic shows, playing blackjack, continuing to work my engineering job, buying houses and renovating them and getting rental income from that. And then at age 27, I moved down to DC, the DC area, because one of my friends who I actually taught how to DJ moved down there, and he was like, "Hey, you can make more money down here, doing software engineering work than you can in Jersey." So I did that, and started to network with other real estate professionals. Eventually, met my now current business partner. His name's Greg. Great guy, really wealth of knowledge, has had a background in real estate and mortgage. He's a real estate agent. He's a licensed mortgage professional. So yeah, we got together, and then we started flipping houses down here in Maryland. We flipped like 12 houses in like a year, and did that here in Maryland. And after the money kind of dried up from what some of the margins were with flipping, we decided to take the crews that we were using to do those flips and start a construction company. So we wanted to specifically focus on roofing, because interior stuff, we found that clients were just way too picky, and it's a lot. I mean, a roof is like, you install the roof to specifications, and you're in and out in a day, and you get paid. That's it, right? So, but granted, I mean, I make it sound simple, but there are a lot of liabilities with roofing. It is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. So you need proper insurances and everything like that. So just counting now. So I had that. There was a company called JG Atlantic Capital. That's what we used to do the real estate operations in, flipping houses. And then we made the J and the G stands for Jessup and Gray. His last name is Gray. So another company called JG Roofing and Construction. And that's what we did these roofing operations with. So keep in mind, I'm not a roofer, I'm not a construction person, but we read books, and we went and got the Maryland home improvement license. He took the exam, and Greg was able to pass it in the first day that he took it. So we became licensed contractors in the state of Maryland, and then we had reciprocity in DC and Virginia. So yeah, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of learning, but we made almost $1 million in our first 11 months in business in gross revenue. It was like 972,000. So, and that was never having any experience. And what I found in the construction industry is that most people in that industry are not good salespeople, and they have horrible customer service. So I'm talking like basic stuff, like someone calls to get a roof, you answer the phone and actually call them back. Go to an appointment and follow up, like those kind of things. Like I've had countless customers say to me, "Wow, like you called me back. I wasn't expecting a call back. Like, wow, nobody else. I called 10 people. Nobody even picked up."
Wow. Very low bar to surpass.
Yeah.
And you know what's so sad? In a lot of professional like services industries like that, especially, and I've experienced it myself, especially dealing with contractors of any kind, either, and not even just in real estate, in a lot of businesses, like if you think about like people who do hair, mechanics, like just things like that, they're really good at the service part, horrible at the business management part.
Yeah.
Like they don't know how to, that's why I pay extra to go to salons where they actually like have appointment times, like have bookings, like this. The place is nice. Like they have professional services on top of being good at the actual service they're providing.
Sure.
Because you can't have one without, I mean, you can, but then you got to deal with, people being late, not calling, not communicating, needing to change your appointment, just all those little things like make such a huge difference in your experience, and they can be so small. So the fact that you already had that customer service background really was, I guess, a good mesh with Greg.
Yeah, absolutely. Greg is an awesome business partner. Really good synergy with him. So that was like kind of the construction thing. We are still incorporated. We kind of went away from that because Greg wanted to move in a different direction of focusing back on his real estate business and selling mortgages when everything was booming, these past couple of years.
Yeah.
And done very well in that regard. And I started focusing more in the tech sector. So I finally said goodbye to the W-2 and started a tech company, and went out and contacted as many people as I could to figure out how to get contracts and start offering my services. Was able to hire some remote people overseas to help with some of the workload, the coding and everything that needs to be done, and start to manage some of those things.
So wait, what kind of tech company did you start?
So it's a company called Jessup Technologies. We're a tech services company that offer software development work, full stack software development from front end, back end, middleware, anything that clients need. I can basically, if I can't do it, I figure out who I can hire to get it done, and then we do it. So that's another company that I have.
And those are basically the skills that you learned in your tech W-2 over the years.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So but I'm kind of a hybrid, because most people in the tech industry, we're sitting in front of a computer all day, right? And like don't have very many personal skills, don't have the sales skills. They're highly skilled at what they do in front of the computer, but when it comes to anything else outside of that, like you can't even have a drink at a bar and talk to somebody like a normal person, because you're socially inept.
Yeah.
It's a stigma in that industry, but a lot of people, a lot of my peers and coworkers were like that, are like that. So I'm definitely grateful to have been exposed to doing things like the magic and doing things like prepaid legal, because that helped me be able to actually interact and talk to people, say hello, and like not be weird about things, So that's definitely helped a lot. That's another company. You asked me for what's happening now. So what's currently happening now is Jessup Technologies. That's one. Two, I have another company called JG Oil and Gas, right? JG Oil and Gas. So
oh my gosh, oil and gas too.
I was on vacation in South America, and I was on a beach, and the guy next to me, we just struck up a conversation. We just started talking about multiple streams of income, and I was like, "Hey, this is right up my alley." And he was telling me he's owned pharmacies, he's owned all kind of real estate rentals, and he recently started doing oil leases. And I was like, "Really? What's that? How does that work?" So it gets pretty in depth, but to make a long story short, I flew to Texas when I got back from South America, and I went to check out some oil fields and had the opportunity to invest to buy a percentage of an oil lease. And what that does, just like a lease in real estate, I mean, you have a long-term lease on some land that's producing oil. The land owner gets 25% of the money, and you as the leaseholder get 75% of the money, because you're maintaining the wells and doing paying the electricity bill, all that stuff to maintain all the pump jacks and all that stuff. So I started that business, and I wanted to apply a real estate mindset to that business too. So I'm like, well, in real estate, if I pay, let's say $100,000 for a property, I fix it up for 20 grand, I'm into it for 120, and then I refi for 200,000, right? And they say there's an 80% LTV, loan to value, for the refinance. Then I'm getting back 160 from the refi, right? So I put it 120 and I get 160 back. So I'm making 40 grand in profit, but it's really not profit. It's loan money, right?
Yeah.
And I get my 120 back that I put into the deal. So I'm like, how can I do that in an oil lease too? Because let's say like the cost of what this oil lease was $100,000 for 8.3% of this oil lease, right?
Okay.
So what I did is I formed a C corporation. There's S corps, there's C corps, there's LLCs, there's different legal entities for forming companies. So formed a C corporation because I wanted to be able to divvy out shares, have shareholders and sell portions of my company to people, and I would treat that like a refinance, right? So what I did is I took $100,000 and then I bought the oil lease, and it's producing income on a monthly basis. And I said, hey, investors, I'm dividing my company in half. So I'm an A-class shareholder, and I'm selling off the B-class shares, which are 50%, right? B-class shareholders, they don't have any voting power. The only thing you get out of that is that you get paid every month proportional to how you invest.
So it's like a LP position in a syndication, limited partner position?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have no voting shares, and they just is what their distributions are based on how much capital they brought to the deal.
Exactly. Exactly. So I did that, and formed a bunch of shareholders, or sold to a bunch of shareholders now, and they get paid whenever we get a distribution check from the oil field. And I I sold the shares at a premium, obviously. So now my out of pocket is $0. So I am 50%.
And this is just on the 8.3% of the lease that you own.
Yeah, I only own
from that 100,000.
Right.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
So it's like I bought it for 100,000 and I sold the share. Well, I actually still have some outstanding shares, but I sold the shares for 108,000. So
for each share?
No, not for each share.
For all the shares total will equal 108,000. Right. So basically, you got your money back plus 8,000. Now you get the cash flow from your half.
And I own 50% of the company.
And that 50% is from the 8% of the lease. Right. So basically, 4% of the entire project you own and get cash flow from.
Right. Right.
That's so smart.
So depending on how much the oil produces and what the price of oil and all that stuff is, I know it's an industry the oil industry is going to be around forever. Even though with the advent of electric cars, there's certain things that you still need oil for, like airplanes and big ships that sail across the ocean for transporting goods and service, like all that stuff. So it's not going away anytime soon. Even if I get a good 20 years, 30 years out of it. I mean, still, it's another stream of revenue. So, and it's something that I literally actually, right before this call, I was doing work on it, but I spend 15 minutes a month doing that. And
all right. We have to talk more about this offline, because I need to know more about how this works. I've never heard of this. Talk about learning what you don't know that you don't know. I've never heard of an oil lease before. And this concept that you did with the C Corp. Oh, so genius. Okay, keep going. Sorry, you smart.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, I spend 15 minutes a month, and that's really just setting up stuff to pay out investors, pay the people who invested in, and yeah, that's it. And at the end of the year, I'll submit all my paperwork to the accountant. They'll take care of that. But yeah, it's something that's a recurring revenue stream. That's what I'm really interested in recurring revenue stream stuff. So I remember at the beginning I said grow one thing. So I can have multiple businesses. I can do all these other things if they're not sucking too much of my time, because I can focus on growing my tech business and suite of tech businesses right now. So that's the oil, right? There's another company that I'm actually CTO of, and that's called Capital Energy Solutions. And we are a company that is standing up EV charging stations, electric vehicle charging stations across the country, right? So I'm tasked with leading the technical direction of this organization as we continue to grow. And I'm actually CTO and co-founder of this company too. So this is a new venture that I've embarked on with another business partner he has like 50 years of experience in business, really a wealth of knowledge, but super, super excited about growing in that space too. And this is one of those businesses where it's like, you got to be in the right place at the right time. Like now, if you were to go and let's say you said, hey, Drew, let's go buy a gas station together. Like, yeah, we could make money off of the C-store and a gas station maybe, but you can tell that industry is on its way out, right?
Yeah.
The industry that's on its way in is the EV industry. So there's a phrase that all ships rise with the tide, right? So yeah, that industry is a rising tide right now. So you can mess up and do something amazing in that industry if you play your cards right. So,
right. So you on both sides of the energy, the oil and the EV.
Right, I am. I am. Yeah. With that, I mean, I could have another call in and of itself just about the energy sector as well, and some of the things that we're doing with demand response software and how to capitalize off of buying energy when it's off peak hours and selling it back to customers during peak hours. So even aside from setting up charging stations and that, there's so many back end revenue streams that you can make in that industry. So that's another company, that's Capital Energy Solutions.
You have another one?
No, that's those are my primary focuses at this point right now.
Primary, those should be your only focuses.
No,
It's already
well,
like 15 things. Oh my God.
I have another one that's in the works, but I haven't stood it up yet because I don't have the time at this point. But it's dealing with I'm very passionate about cryptocurrency, and also, my background in the gaming industry, particularly with casinos. So it's a product that I'm developing. It's a technical product I'm developing in collaboration with Jessup Technologies and my sister. My sister is a co-owner in Jessup Technologies. So that product is going to service the gaming industry and bring various kinds of cryptocurrency related services to the industry. So I'm super excited about that. I'm actually working on patents now, so that before our suite of products is released for that we've secured the intellectual property. But yeah, so I can't. There's only but so much time in the day, so I haven't completely.
Yeah, you're already stretching it out to the max.
Yeah.
And I thought I was busy. Oh my God.
But yeah, super passionate about all these things. And if anyone, Elon Musk has like 5 or 6 companies, and he's somehow doing it somehow. So I think that if I put my head down and focus and grow one at a time, and then move on to the next one, once one is on autopilot or you have a proper management team in place, then you can continue to I can continue to grow and learn more. So that's the game. That's where I'm at now.
This was way longer than 30 minutes, just so you know. I forgot. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I forgot to set my timer, so I don't even know how long this has been, but this was definitely going to be 2 episodes. Okay. But the information of what you've done, it spans so many different industries and skill sets, and it kind of all one feeds into the next. And sometimes you just start with something and you don't know where it's going to become helpful in the future. Just like you doing prepaid legal was just like because you saw people making money, but you didn't realize then that the skills you were going to gain from that were going to help you in other totally unrelated industries years down the road. You know what I mean? But how successful would that industry would have been without, or that company without your skills in customer service? I mean, you don't know. It probably still would have been, but maybe not as good. Like, it's just one of those things that one couldn't happen without the other,
Yeah.
So
it's funny because a lot of like business partners and people who I still interact with are from those prepaid legal days. Like every close person that I've had who I kind of rock with on my team has gone on to do great things. One's an published author, relationship expert, dating coach. One owns a big marketing firm that's bringing in, really, really large sums of income on a monthly basis. People from also in the cryptocurrency industry, having startups that are valued at multi-millions now, right off the bat. Just lots of stuff. So just the network that I was able to form as a result of being in that organization is just that's also invaluable too. I'm sure you've heard the phrase "your network is your net worth."
Yep, of course.
Yeah. So
very true. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This really is crazy. Okay, and now this gives me so much more that I need to talk to you about offline. And okay, I'm gonna go to the final round of questions that we ask every guest. Okay. But I really just hope everyone listening has gleaned some insight from Andrew's story and all the various different things that he's been involved in over the years, and how one just kind of feeds into another. And basically, honestly, the underlying theme, I feel like, from your story is just like educating yourself and then jumping in and implementing. Like, you can't get progress without the action of doing it. Yeah. And regardless if you're scared, regardless if you think you might lose all your money, like, you still just need to try it. because you never know where that's going to lead you. And it might open doors to the next thing that you wouldn't have experienced if you didn't try the first one. So you don't always have to have all the answers. You just have to get started, find something that you're interested in, learn about as much as you can about it. And the thing is, even if you want to sink your teeth in and read 5 or 6 books, don't let so much information freeze you from actually taking the action. You, at some point, get as much information as you can and then just start implementing. So that's what it's all about. Like, implementation is the bridge between your ideas and reality, right? So
I
last
want to second that, because there's a thing called learned knowledge, which you learn in books, and there's a thing called activity knowledge, which you learn from actually doing the thing. You learn a lot faster through the activity knowledge, but the foundational learned knowledge is absolutely necessary. But some people get really bogged down by the learned knowledge, thinking that they have to go and get ready to get ready. Like, oh, first, it's like in prepaid legal, people would be like, oh, I want to get my binder and I want to get my, my paperwork together. I want to read the manual. I want to go put my flyers in order, and I'm going to get an office desk and an office chair and sharpen my pencils. And like, people are busy sharpening pencils. We're sharpening pencils, and I am out there talking to people. I'm getting turned down. I'm getting rejected, but every 10 times, I got one. Talk to 10 more people, got one. Talk to 10 more people, got two.
Yeah.
10 more people, got 3. Wow. So now I'm improving, right?
Yeah.
You're still busy sharpening your pencils. I completely second what you said. I mean, that's right on the money. Right on the money.
That's crazy. Okay.
Wait, don't go yet. Have you been looking for a way to get started in real estate investing, but you just don't know how? You need the Launchpad. It's brought to you by my company, Norvest Holdings. And the Launchpad is a free guide with a ton of resources I've compiled to help you invest into your first real estate syndication. It includes terminology, book resources, video explanations, all the information that you need. Don't know what a syndication is? I got you covered. How to find a good operator, how to even tell if a deal is good or not without having to know how to underwrite it all. It's all in there. The Launchpad is designed to help launch you into the next stage of your investing career and get you invested into your first multifamily syndication as a passive investor, meaning you can be a landlord and own a piece of a large apartment building, but still go about your day-to-day life without having to stop and learn every single detail about what's under the hood and how it all works. The link to the guide is in the show notes. Make sure you sign up today. Again, this is a free resource and guide. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. Now let's finish up the show.
So final questions. Now, the first one is, Warren Buffett said that diversification is protection against ignorance. Now, what do you take that to mean? And is it right, wrong? Is it positive and negative? What do you feel about that statement?
Yeah, I'm actually familiar with that phrase. There was another version of him saying that. I think he said something to the effect of, diversification is for investors who really just don't know what the heck they're doing. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with it, because if you know what you're doing, you can make things work that need to work. But I'm not saying that you don't diversify your income streams. Absolutely do that. But I'm not a huge stock person, and that's another thing that I need to learn. Like, I've invested very minimally. Like, I know more about cryptocurrency than I do stock. But you're asking what my take on that is. I mean, I agree with it. I absolutely agree.
Okay, yeah. True. And you know what? And that's exactly what I take it to mean as well. It's just that people diversify, like you said, because they don't know what the heck they're doing. Yeah, so they just diversify to be
what a 401k is. Like,
yeah,
people,
to be
person
safe.
In job X doesn't know anything about investing, so they give their money to some money manager in the sky who diversifies, invests, makes them some small return while they're literally, raking you through the coals with their fees and stuff like that, and making zillions of dollars while you make a modest return.
Yeah, that 1% fee, it sounds little. It sounds like it's little. That's why it's disarming to people. Yes. But if you look at the charts, that joint adds up over time. But we got to save that breakdown for. That's actually a good podcast episode. someone breaking down the chart of like what those fees actually mean for your investing. But anyway,
Absolutely.
so in the game, you played Monopoly before.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know you have. Okay. Boardwalk or Baltic, what is your first purchase and why? Like, what's your strategy for winning the game?
What's my strategy for winning the game?
Yeah, which one are you going to purchase first in your attempt to win the game? I know people don't like those two options. Sometimes people like middle of the road, but your option is Boardwalk or Baltic.
What was Baltic? I don't remember that one. I know.
So Baltic is the cheapest one. Boardwalk's the most expensive.
Oh, okay. My answer is everything. I mean, I would try to win that game by literally buying any and everything that I could afford and land on, whether it was a cheap one or a most expensive one. Because, like, let's say you go around the board 8 times and you save up your $200 you get, right, just to buy Boardwalk. And if someone lands on that, you get paid, right? But the chances of someone landing on Boardwalk are like, how many spaces are on Monopoly? Like 36 or 40 spaces. 1 in 40 chance of you getting paid, right? Whereas if I spent my money and I bought everything else on the map, I'm getting paid wherever you go. So it's like, yeah, I mean, that was my strategy to to do whatever.
Somebody else's answer was they heard you there's that phrase, you buy real estate and wait, you don't wait to buy real estate.
Right.
So that makes sense. Buy whatever you land on first. Okay.
Anything
Exactly. Okay. What does wealth mean to you?
Wealth means what does wealth mean to me? It means the freedom of choice. It means the ability to use your resources to help other people, to grow businesses and ideas that you have, to really have the freedom to explore things in life that you're passionate about. So wealth is leaving a legacy for your family, and not being attached to a 9 to 5 unless you want to be. Like, it's your choice. It's your choice to be building XYZ business because that's what you're passionate about. That's what you want to do. Wealth is having your name on the building. You controlling your destiny, having multiple streams of income, having assets that pay you money every month. If you are your only asset and your asset does not go to work, then your asset will not get paid, right? So, yeah, that's what it means to me, all those things.
I love it. Only a couple more. One more main one. This question is, what's the one thing you need to take your business to the next level? Now, which business you want to refer to is up to you. You got too many businesses, but you can take that.
Gotcha. I also own a coffee shop and art studio in South Jersey.
Oh my God!
I'm a co-owner of that. Another business partner. I forgot that one, but that's actually it's called the Turquoise Cup. We can put that link in there too, because anybody in South Jersey should go check it out. It's a good.
I want to go now. Next time I'm at my mom's, I'm gonna go to the Turquoise Cup. Oh my God, I cannot. It's just too many. Okay, pick a business, whichever one needs you're in the most growth mode at this moment, and like, what do you need to help that? Because you never know who's listening.
Sure. So probably the Turquoise Cup. It's a brick and mortar business. It's a paint your own pottery studio. We are what's called an art cafe. So it's a cafe. It's a Starbucks that you can do paint and sip nights in there. We rent out the space. It's on High Street in Burlington City in South Jersey. So what do we need to take the business to the next level? Strategic partnerships with schools, with churches, getting the word out there that we have an event space, something you can do a date night with your significant other. You can bring your kids. We host a lot of parties. We're like booked up till May with like a lot of parties every weekend, which is huge. The business has been in business for like 12 years, but we were in North Jersey, and now we've relocated, and we're in Hoboken in Jersey City, and now we've relocated to South Jersey. But yeah, that's probably the business that's in the most growth mode right now.
Wow. Okay. I can't, and we didn't even touch. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe you probably got 5 more businesses you
Yeah,
forgot
you can't go
during
over
the,
everything in one day.
during the conversation. No, no, we can't. All right. Last question. Just how can listeners get in touch with you if they want to talk to you, connect, if they have some type of similar synergistic businesses or knowledge or skills, and they just want to see, how you can add value to each other?
Gotcha. Yeah, Andrew at jessuptech.com or
You
my
have social media?
social media. Instagram is at DRU. It's kind of a play on words. So my name is Andrew Jessup, but everyone calls me Drew. And so I just spelled the word Drew out. DEEAREYOU. Drew on Instagram.
Yeah. All right. We'll have that link down in the notes, in the show notes as well.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Jessup, for blessing us with your myriad. Like, you are the not craziest, but like the most diverse entrepreneur I have ever talked to, actually. And I've known you for so long, but like so much has happened in the span of time that it's just, it's ridiculous. You're into everything. You are super diverse all over the place, but like diverse, but dug in. Like, I don't know, is dug in a word? That might be bad grammar too. But anyway, you know what I mean? Like, you go, your experiences are wide, but also deep, because you go deep into knowing what you're doing so that you're well diversified. Mm-hmm. So thank you for sharing all the information that you did. I am excited to like dig in some more to this and potentially partner with you on something in the future. Some of those things just sound so interesting that I have never even heard about. And now people know to like go out and search for that kind of information. Yeah. Maybe I'll get some more books from you from offline, and I'll put those in the show notes too. Sure. Because you've read so many books. You probably could have like a huge, like just a Google Drive sheet just full of all the books that you've read in different industries or topics that people can start going into if they're interested in anything that you've said, if they want to get involved. So
sure.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. And like I said, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. And I look forward to talking in the future.
Nice. All right, everyone. So if this episode was of any value to you, don't forget to share it with someone. Make sure you like and subscribe. I think that's YouTube. So make sure you like and comment in iTunes so that we can expand and reach more people. It really helps the show out so that we can share this information with more people, and we can uplift the community and get everybody getting these multiple streams of income, because that's what it's all about, right? So in any case, I will see you, or see you. We'll engage next time.
Did you love this episode of Share the Wealth Show? Be sure to connect with Nicole by following her on LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook. If you picked up any of the gems that were dropped by today's guest, make sure you not only put them in your bag, but if you know of someone who would benefit from this information, don't keep it to yourself. Share the wealth, and make sure to leave us a rating and review. We'll see you for next week's episode. Subscribe so you'll be notified.